Hello, hello, and welcome back to Bible Break. We're in Genesis 24 today, and we're going to read the first 27 verses of that long chapter. Isaac and Rebekah is what we're on to now. Reading from my NIV as usual. Okay, let's go. Isaac and Rebekah. Abram was now old and well advanced in years, and the Lord had blessed him in every way. He said to the chief servant in his household, the one in charge of all that he had, "Put your hand under my thigh. I want you to swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that you will not get a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I am living, but will go to my country and my own relatives and get a wife for my son Isaac." The servant asked him, "What if the woman is unwilling to come back with me to this land? Shall I then take your son back to the country you came from?" "Make sure that you do not take my son back," Abram said. "The Lord, the God of heaven, who brought me out of my father's household and my native land, and who spoke to me and promised me on oath, saying, 'To your offspring I will give this land,' he will send his angel before you so that you can get a wife for my son from there. If the woman is unwilling to come back with you, then you will be released from this oath of mine. Only do not take my son back there." So the servant put his hand under the thigh of his master Abram and swore an oath to him concerning this matter. Then the servant took 10 of his master's camels and left, taking with him all kinds of good things from his master. He set out for Aram Naharaim and made his way to the town of Nahor. He made the camels kneel down near the well outside the town. It was towards evening, the time the women go out to draw water. Then he prayed, "O Lord, God of my master Abraham, give me success today and show kindness to my master Abraham. See, I am standing beside this spring, and the daughters of the townspeople are coming out to draw water. May it be that when I say to a girl, 'Please let down your jar that I may have a drink,' and she says, 'Drink, and I'll water your camels too,' let her be the one you have chosen for your servant Isaac. By this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master." Before he had finished praying, Rebekah came out with her jar on her shoulder. She was the daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, who was the wife of Abram's brother Nahor, the daughter of Abram's nephew, in other words. The girl was very beautiful, a virgin. No man had ever lain with her. She went down to the spring, filled her jar, and came up again. The servant hurried to meet her and said, "Please give me a little water from your jar." "Drink, my lord," she said, and quickly lowered the jar to her hands and gave him a drink. After she had given him a drink, she said, "I will draw water for your camels too until they have finished drinking." So she quickly emptied her jar into the trough, ran back to the well to draw more water, and drew enough for all his camels. Without saying a word, the man watched her closely to learn whether or not the Lord had made his journey successful. When the camels had finished drinking, the man took out a gold nose ring weighing a beaker, very fashionable, and 2 gold bracelets weighing 10 shekels. Then he asked, "Whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there room in your father's house for us to spend the night?" She answered him, "I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son that Milcah bore to Nahor." And she added, "We have plenty of straw and fodder, as well as room for you to spend the night." Right, so we're going to leave it there. No, we're not. 2 more verses. Then the man bowed down and worshipped the Lord, saying, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not abandoned his kindness and faithfulness to my master. As for me, the Lord has led me on the journey to the house of my master's relatives." So this is fabulous. I'm on a mission for my master, and it's working out. I'm part of this mission. In fact, it's my mission to do this for my master. Fantastic that it's going the right way. So it's all about Isaac, and it's all about Isaac's future, because Isaac is the future. And what comes from Isaac is the future. Isaac, you will recall, was the son who had been so awaited by Abraham and Sarah. We won't go back over all that now, obviously. But Sarah has died now. And the first thing we read was that Abraham was well advanced in years. Now, Isaac, Abraham and Sarah's son, is their posterity, and he's the promised son. And it is through Abraham's posterity that the entire world eventually is supposed to be blessed, or many people, many nations are supposed to be blessed. But what's going to happen to Isaac when mum and dad are not there? What future for Isaac? What future for the promised destiny that Abraham has and holds from God? So you can understand and you can appreciate that Abraham's concern, which he confides to not just anybody, but one of his most entrusted servants, to go and seek a wife for Isaac. The instructions are quite rigid on this. There are two things that are perhaps a bit different to what we would normally sort of expect today. Today you wouldn't normally, be expected to marry within the family. Well, there may be one or two cultures still where they're quite happy to marry within the family. But it's certainly the case here that we're looking here at the girl in question will be the daughter of Abraham's nephew. Apart from anything else, that's considered to be a bit dangerous to intermarry is fine, but to marry within the family is not advised. I knew a couple. They were cousins and they were married, but they never had children. Here it is, though. That's what he's to do. Go and take somebody from Abram's country and Abram's people, Abram's family, as it turns out. A relative. Interesting, isn't it, as well, that he's got to go back to the country that he came from. The country that Abram came from was Ur of the Chaldees, or Mesopotamia, or Iraq. That's an interesting thing to note. The way Abram came from is actually, where he came from is actually modern day Iraq. What God had promised him as the promised land was modern day Israel. But he came from modern day Iraq. Interesting. And he's not going back there. And he doesn't want Isaac to go back there. He wants somebody from his own people, from his own culture, from the people that where he is from. He wants somebody from there. But the test is that she must come to Isaac, because Isaac isn't going back there. Isaac's going to go on with, well, whatever destiny the Lord has promised and projected for him and for the people that will come from him, which will involve eventually not a short period of time in Egypt, and then coming out of Egypt and towards and into ultimately the promised land of Canaan, which will become the land of Israel. Okay, so there we are. Normally you would expect, as I say, you would normally expect to see the man maybe going towards the family of the girl that he's going to marry, but it's kind of like the other way around here. Is there somebody who is prepared to come out and join forces, as it were, with my son, so that he can press on with somebody of my people, nonetheless, towards where God is leading us, where God is taking us. So we then see that the servant is given the goods, part of the what's the courtship, but he's got some jewelry to offer, nice jewelry to offer. But what is important here is what the servant prays. First of all, Abram has said to his servant that he does believe that the Lord will send his angel before him. Abram has confidence in God to help him in for what's needed. And the servant, Abram is the master, the servant is the servant, but the servant has learned from his master, and the servant also prays and seeks the Lord's help as he's on his mission. And that's the important thing, not who's the master and who's the servant, but are the master and the servant working together and looking to God for success. And so he prays, and his prayers, it's interesting enough, but it's nothing extraordinary. His prayer chimes with the nature of his mission. He's not looking for some crazy, ridiculous way out sign. He's looking for something that would accord with the kind of person, the kind of qualities that he's looking for. The fact that, of course, it's noted that Rebecca is beautiful, that's not to be sniffed at. That goes without saying. That all helps. But his prayer is to do with the Lord's leading in the first instance, but also it's to do with you notice it's to do really with the kind of character of the lady that he's looking for. What's she like? Is she kind, compassionate, considerate, hospitable? So, Lord, if I ask her to do this, will she do it for me? Or will she go beyond that? If I ask her for something to drink, will she go beyond that? And then if eventually I ask her, can I come back then to your place to meet the family? And obviously not for me, it's for my master. But, will everything go smoothly? Will she be welcoming? Will the family be welcoming? This is all pretty sensible, really. Stuff to be asking God. And as I said just a few minutes ago, he's delighted that the signs that God is sending his way, that everything is going to plan, and that God is answering his prayers. He's answering the request of his master, Abram. So that's brilliant, and that's the essential thing. But as I say, at that natural common sense level as well, note what's in the mix here when it comes to finding a wife for Isaac. Is she prepared to go with him for what he has to do? Will she be of the same background or the same faith? As I say, we don't marry within families, but find someone of the same faith and from the same family of faith. If you are a Christian, is really important, I'd say. And somebody of good character, who you can see that you'd be able to have a happy life with, as man and wife, and who, with whom you'll be able to eventually raise children and manage the household and look after the family. All pretty straightforward, but the important essential ingredients are already there. And we'll see how this further goes and how this further develops next time around. So I'll see you then.